Hi, chat.
Hello. Hello, chat.
Oh,
Yeah. How much do you want to bet nobody's there? Nobody's there. Sick.
There.
I'm also gonna check to see if the go live notification actually worked, or if I need to go find a new bot. Is that? And I need to go find a new bot. Lovely. Okay. So
Oh, hey, wait, no,
it just went. Yay. Okay. We're required to show this for legal reasons. Leave it up for like 5 seconds, and I'm gonna move on. Yeah, gotta love the university and the state of Ohio changing laws. You need to sign in for attendance. It's especially important for elections because if you don't have your required attendances, you will not be allowed to run or vote. Yeah, because voting membership is what sets that. You need to be a part of voting membership to run. So it's like three. Yeah, no, it's 5,000. I'm sorry.
Is it all general body meetings?
Yeah.
Or is it like the Monday meetings?
General body. We don't take attendance, so. Yeah, and those have a weird. There's a bunch of weird shit in their bylaws, but I'm pretty sure it's general body meetings.
I got a question. What's 6 plus 2?
That's like your
That's the email.
last name, your front of your email.
Yeah.
So it's not 8.
I mean, if you put 8, I'm just gonna laugh at you. But
I was
like, yeah.
just about to put 8. I was asking that as a joke. It's not 8. What is
No,
it?
it's.
When was the last time you filled out a test?
A long time ago.
There we go. So no. So on your not on there. So your email. You know the forward. Yeah, it's that. It's that.
Whatever's in front of your email.
It's what you use. It's what you use to log into Canvas, man. Like it's that. That's fair. Okay. All of you seen this. I'm gonna move on. It's there. Have fun. It's the link tree stuff. It's all the links to all the things. It links to Instagram. It links to fucking Discord. It links to I don't know. I have no idea what's on here. I did not build this. I have no idea. He knows. I don't. Yeah, there we go, man. I know, dude.
They look like just like you.
I know. It's shocking. All right. Announcements. All right. So elections are coming up. That's gonna be our last meeting of the year. So that's week before finals. So I think last week in November-ish. I don't remember exactly. It's fine. NCL results. One of our teams placed 5th in the highest bracket, which always a win. Matt's going to talk more about that.
Wait, we not have any meetings in the spring?
We do, but it's the last one of the semester.
No, we're a club that only meets in fall.
Yeah,
We're a fall sport.
Yeah, we're a fall sport, guys. No, we meet in the spring. We meet in the summer, actually, too, to a point, sort of. Yeah, we just do like our committee stuff, just to keep the lights on. Let's see, CTF, Bearcat CTF's 3rd and 4th of February. I'm still lining up a venue for that, so we'll see where that actually ends up being. Queen City Con is, I think, next week. That sounds right. Yes.
They released the official schedule.
Sweet. So that's good.
Some more members is actually calling.
Nice. Who is?
George.
Oh shit. Okay. Shit. All right. Well, that's cool. Go see him. Good thing. Yes.
Do you know the $50 for all 3 days? So
I have no idea.
I think it is. It's just
Probably.
That's it.
Where do they go to register?
That's it. You just get in and that's it. And then you gotta pay the studio.
Yeah, and you just sleep there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where do you go to
No.
register?
Just search Queen City Con. There's probably a website. I don't know.
What do we do to get the $50 registration?
Use your student.
There you go. I don't have the answer for that one, but yeah. Let's see other things. News. Shit. It's back for the first time in weeks.
Welcome back.
I'm so excited. I've been waiting 3 weeks for this.
I was told I should do this in a wrap during an ops meeting. I am not going to do that. So I've got 2 slides. This slide is going to be like just more like journal news, and then we'll keep going. So there's a Atlassian vulnerability in one of their products, Confluence, that is pretty big. A lot of big corporate companies use Confluence as a form of documentation and other sorts of things. And basically, it has been proven that it is being actively exploited. So people are looking for public-facing Confluence servers. Atlassian. It is something to do with authentication. For some reason, no. I don't think our Trello. What? I think it's just Confluence.
It also might just be like self-hosted because they offer like cloud-based one and self-hosted one. So it might just be self-hosted.
It is self-hosted.
Yeah.
Public-facing self-hosted Confluence ones.
There you go.
What is an Atlassian?
Atlassian is a company.
It's a company?
They own the Confluence, which is the product.
If you work for a big,
Yeah,
if you work
they
for
are
a big
your
firm,
own-
it's a lot of their stuff.
They fucking Confluence, Trello, shit. I'm forgetting some of the other ones. There's a bunch of weird ones. Don't worry about them. There's a lot of good ones.
An interesting thing I saw is that Russia is attempting to develop a competitor and eventual replacer for VirusTotal. If there's no VirusTotal is, it is one of the most popular OSINT research tools out there. And basically, Russia's like, this is not real. Essentially, this is fake. We can do it better. So they're going to try. They're doing that. We'll see how that goes.
It's not gonna be that bad.
A researcher was able to prove with AI that AI is able to create super realistic phishing pages in 5 minutes based on only 5 prompts. So the days of looking for like very well-known like phishing scams are going to pass by very quickly. The U.S. State Department has pushed a notice, well not notice, but like they've published they're attempting to pre-debunk Russian disinformation campaigns will even start. So that's like mainly for like the election stuff. They're probably not going to be successful, but they're going to try to do that. And then just updates from Russia, Ukraine. Russia activists hit some check targets. I forget what it was. That was like 3 weeks ago. And one of Russia's largest insurers actually suffered a data leakage. I think this was Ukraine did this. I think from America properly. So that's interesting. And then the Middle East, it just remains these 5 things: DDoS, disinformation, cyber espionage, data theft, and doxing, and website defacement. So this is a list of companies who got hacked in the past 3 weeks. So largest mortgage lender, Mr. Cooper, had a cyber attack that brought down systems, including their payment portal. So if you use Mr. Cooper for any sort of mortgage things, you were unable to use the payment portal over the weekend. I forget which one it was. Okta suffered a third-party data breach. This is separate of the incident that released customer data. This was more focused on like the actual like Okta employees. The group Black Cat hit Henry Shane. They are a very large health care provider or something like that. They stole dozens of terabytes worth of data, and it is I think it's ransomware as well. I think Boeing got hit by Lockbit ransomware. I can't find a price on that, but Boeing got hit with that, so that's cool. Ace Hardware got hit. They had 1,000 devices taken offline in an undisclosed incident. And I forgot to put this on here, but there was some sort of disruption with how payroll payments are done. So there was a large amount of people over this past weekend who did not receive their paychecks in time because the underlying systems that like distributes that like across many companies was offline. So that was cool. Oh yes. Do you have any news of the week that they want to mention or bring up? Okay.
The U.S. government, in its infinite wisdom, has decided not to pay ransom. They're just not going to pay any ransoms. Yeah, because that's going to go super well. You know.
I mean, I've always seen like there are people like, oh, don't pay the ransom, but like depending on what they have and how like it's.
But also like throw limits.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if they go with that route and they say like, okay, we're not going to pay ransomware. Maybe it's like their deterrent. Okay, we're saying we're not going to do it. Hopefully, people aren't going to do it. Maybe that's their biggest.
There's no better.
It's like
if you pay the ransom,
U.S.
they're gonna
doesn't
shake your
U.S. doesn't negotiate with terrorists. It's the same thing. It's like
Yeah. Oh, they say
Like, it's
so,
the same
right.
I mean, we already said it, we're just saying we don't negotiate with terrorists again. You don't.
If you have any news that they saw from the past like 3 weeks, it's probably missed something. I did miss stuff, but it's fine.
Like somebody posted in the Discord that one.
That was a little while ago.
Oh, half this stuff's already a while
I was
ago.
about to say.
I did what's on here. I read an article this week that basically was that you can use Google Calendar to act as a command and control for things. So I kid you not, there's a GitHub repo of this out here. And I thought it was very interesting, and there's a good chance that I do a talk on it, but I kid you not, it's a real thing. Google Calendar Rat. I think this is it. This is essentially how it works. There's a video of it. Is this the video? Was it the top? There's one of these one of the repos had a video of it, and like it's literally like you put the command in your calendar, and it does this thing. I forget exactly how it worked, but if you're interested, take a look at this. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
They actually released a timeline of what actually happened. Kind of entertaining how slow it took to actually take action. Like I think the initial report from 1Password came in like 2 or 3 weeks before they ended up taking the action on it. It took multiple additional customers to be like, hey,
yeah,
you guys got a problem.
I saw a lot of people saying like you're a security company, but you don't have security in yourself.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's also exemplified in 1Password released their response.
Yeah.
They ran Malwarebytes free on like employee and they thought that would be correct.
So they're like, okay, looks like we're good.
Yeah, that's literally what they wrote. You can find it out there. It's very entertaining to read. What? It's pretty wild.
Okay. Colt mentioned this earlier, but I just wanted to shout out everybody who participated and/or helped out with MakeUC. That was pretty nice. I did not. But also the teams, people that competed in NCL, we had one team. Mark, did your team go over 1,000 points? Where's Mark? I saw Mark. Did you guys get over 1,000 points? They scored over 1,000 points, which was really good. And then the other team, which was Seth, Cooper, Ian, Chad, Devin, who's not here, Sean, who's not here, and George, who's not here, they placed 5th overall in the experience bracket, and they are going to be getting trophies at some point. So that's pretty cool. Good stuff, guys. And that's it. Oh yeah, if you weren't here last week, 5th Third came out and talked about what they do. It was pretty cool. It was not recorded. By the way, we do not record any meetings where we have like sponsors. Not sponsors.
Yeah, mainly because then they can say whatever they want without, employers saying things. Anyway, so this is kind of going to be weird in the sense it's kind of going to be a 2-part meeting. So I'm going to cover elections just at the top, and then Chad's going to take over to talk about MakeUC and some of the fallout from the CTF, some of like what challenges were, that sort of thing. So elections. There's actually a lot of stuff up for elections this year. We once again are pushing out a constitutional change. You guys get to vote on that. We are rolling back some of our COVID era consolidation. So for, background on that, over COVID, so pre-COVID, our board was like 7 or 8 execs, something like higher. I think it's 9. Where was it?
I did not remember, but
GA was 3.
It was large.
It was like 8 or 9. But anyway, we consolidated it down to like 4 or 5 people over COVID, just because of nobody was here. So we are rolling back some of those changes. Main one being we're splitting public affairs back out, not into 3 roles this time, into 2. Yes, okay. I want to make sure that was what we agreed to. So half's going to be kind of our social media and kind of marketing role, and then the other half is going to be more outreach with schools, some level of corporate outreach, and then recruiting and all that kind of stuff. then the other thing, this one isn't a rollback, but this is a new one that has been a long time in the making. We're finally going to add CTF team lead as a permanent member of the board. Chad's been doing it unofficially for years. I think this is your 5th year as CTF team lead?
Yeah, sure. This is fresh.
Yeah. So, yeah. So that's going to get split back out. I think that's all the major ones. There's probably like some small language types of crap if you really want me to talk about that. But the other one is the board, which is what I'm going to get to for the rest of this. So to run for a position on the board, there are a shit ton of requirements. So President VP, you do need to have 1 year prior experience on our board to run for that. Reason being, it's kind of overwhelming to take over leadership of the club, and especially with CyberUC, where it's like we have a very broad mission and end up doing a lot of different things. So it's kind of hard to keep it straight if it's your first time, being around the organization. So for everybody else, you have a minimum of a GPA of 2.3. That is basically it to run. You can't be graduating next year, and you have to attend at least 3 meetings. Requirements aren't too crazy, I don't think anyway. And then, I think, no, we can't leave any of those. Voter requirements, you also need to have attended at least 3 meetings. I think that also makes sense. All right, so anybody that's in red is either term limited, not running for re-election, or is becoming an adjunct, or a mixture of the 3. In the case of Ethan. So yeah, most of us are term limited. So all of those are up for election, and like also the term is a year, so all of them are up for election, but there will not be incumbents for 5 roles. I think we're going to kind of talk board member by board member what they actually do, so that way you guys actually know what the roles are. So I do really not that much. I'm kidding. I have a few big items that I have to do every year, and then the rest is small stuff. So I'm required to re-register with the university every year. I'm required to fill out our tax paperwork, and really just signing the pieces of paper. And I'm required to report to Franco occasionally with what we're doing. And then also just make sure everything doesn't, catch on fire. That's pretty much my entire job, that, and then fighting with the university. So what I mean by that is university departments, very bureaucratic. So sometimes things take overly long, or it's oh, you're missing this one signature on this one form. Haha, you can't get money. So I basically fight with the university until they let us have the money. That's basically my job. Chad, you go with yours. Stand up. Let the people see you.
I mean, as Cole mentioned, I had kind of 2 roles of vice president and then the CTF team lead. As vice president, it was largely just helping Cole out on everything. I did a lot more of the content this year, so that was one of the major role changes. And then it's largely just helping out wherever is needed, helping each of the board members out where they may need it. Being a jack of all trades to a degree. CTF team, it's largely can be boiled down to the competition team, making sure that you're actually attending CTF competitions, because that's important, as well as making sure everyone signs up for, now I guess we have 2 big competitions that we're attending of NCL, and then we also still are doing Codebreaker, which is still going on, so still do it, please. Then also taking on the role of making the CTFs, particularly the CTF challenges. I'll probably get into that a little bit later on. And then the last one, kind of just broadly teaching people about how to do CTFs and helping people get started into doing them and walking them through that. But yeah.
All right, Matt.
Yeah, so like Cole said, we're splitting PA into two different things. So I'll do social media side, marketing side first. So social media marketing is what it sounds like. So we have Instagram, campus link or get involved UC, Discord, that link tree thing that you saw. I guess website also kind of rolls into there, but that's kind of like niche because that takes a little bit more technical knowledge. And then our physical promotions as well. So flyers and poster boards, stuff like that. That role is kind of more of a at-need basis because aside from sending out weekly announcements, right? Like we might not have something to promote every single week or month or whatever. So that's kind of an at-need basis. The other part of that is public affairs, like journals. So that includes outreach. So for those who don't know, we do go out to local high schools and like talk to them about cybersecurity and basically tell them to come to UC and join our club. We also General Public Affairs also does a little bit of corporate outreach. That's more in line, like working with the president and VP to make sure that anywhere they can help. And the last part of that is like recruiting retention. So part of like the big thing of public affairs is like making sure that we do things that you guys want to come back and like learn. So that could be stuff like social events, planning out content, not necessarily doing it, but just like overall that kind of things. And I think there's a lot of bouncing between like social media and public affairs. Like you won't just be doing one thing. If you're doing one thing, like nothing's going on. Social media person can help out public affairs stuff. So there's a lot of things to do, but you don't have to do them all at the same time, which is kind of nice. But the hard part is figuring out what you need to do. So that's PA.
Sweet. All right, since Josh is not here, I will be talking on behalf of Josh. Treasurer is probably our least glamorous role, but it is one of the two that we are required to have for the university, the other being president. So main thing, they maintain our financial records, so we're required as a nonprofit to keep financial records and make sure that we have those and are able to, if we're asked by either university, federal government, state government, to show our books, we can do that. The other thing the treasurer does is interfaces with UFB, which is University Funding Board, as well as a few other organizations that we take money from that are university groups. So like CEAS Tribunal is another group that in theory treasurer works with. SOFAB, which is that one's CAS, basically like funder of last resort. You just kind of like go to the deans and they just give you a pile of cash and submit all the paperwork for that. So other things, treasurer is involved very heavily in fundraising. So reaching out to our corporate partners, both current and former, and prospective, to find us money, because most of our funding, at least historically, has not come from the university. Previously, our key partner has been Northrop Grumman. That's no longer true. But like we talked to Battelle, we talked to U.S. Air Force, their research lab. Like there's a bunch of folks that we're reaching out with to get money. And the rest of it is a lot of really just keeping track of documentation. So like controlling receipts and all that kind of like not super fun stuff. And then also they're also one of the two roles that controls a or a club card. So for our off-campus bank account for CyberUC. So I think that's pretty much it. Anything you want to add, Chad, since you were a treasurer?
Pretty much had everything. Also helps out on taxes. Stuff like that.
There you go. Yeah.
The money side of things is very important for this club to be able to function and helps us immensely in terms of allowing us to do stuff that we have done this year and in the next years.
We're trying to buy club t-shirts, so.
Yeah, once I finish the state tax exemption paperwork. All right, Anthony.
Hi, so I'm head of lab. Head of lab has a lot of different things that they're in charge of. So we have our server room that's in Manti. It's pretty much right across from our club office, which is 516. So head of lab is in charge of taking care of that, making sure it's up to date, everything's running on there properly. And then also in charge of a lot of our software projects. CTF tool in the past, but we're kind of moving away from that because we're moving from CTFD to RCTF, which has their own, I can't think of the word.
Deployment tooling for challenges.
Yeah, they have their own deployment tool for RCTF, so CTF tool is going aside. So staying on top of any new projects that either they come up with or that club members come up with. And then they're also in charge of maintaining infrastructure for CTF events. So cloud infrastructure, stuff like that.
All right, Christine. That's true. But you do special project stuff.
I'm Christine. There's really no responsibilities officially assigned to that, so it's more of like, hey, what do you want to help with? Or hey, what do you help with this? That's really interesting.
Yeah. So I will add on to that. Historically, the roles for board member at large have always been a little bit different. So Christine helps us a lot with working with, some other university student orgs, helps us, I don't know, keeps us from like lighting the house on fire. I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff, but that's very different from what Ethan does. So Ethan historically finds this money in weird spots. Is probably the best way to describe his job. He basically works with like Mark Hay, who runs the EC department over in CAS, electrical engineering and computer engineering. I'm realizing that I'm using a lot of acronyms. I'm so sorry. So like it's just a lot of like finding weird money. But then also Josh was one for a bit. So Josh did a lot of work on prepping for executive transition because in the past we've had some really rocky transitions. So we're trying to make the outgoing and ingoing, that switch of executives a little bit easier. So he did a lot of work on that. So really it's just whatever you want to help out with, in theory, board member at large can do. Anything else from any current execs? Yes. Those are partially done. I have not done mine. But you know what I did done, so it's fine.
We're sending out detailed like lists that are kind of broken down like each one of these types of responsibilities, positions, to get a better idea of what we do. So we'll send those out for this quarter.
Yeah.
Definitely before the election.
Yeah, it'll also probably be piecemeal because some of those are already together, some of them are not. So any questions for anybody? Yes. January 1st is when we officially do the switch. So basically on January 1st, anybody who's marked in red is no longer an exec. In theory, we basically become advisors for the incoming administration, help you guys keep the lights on. We also are the only ones with club cards. So we're still gonna be around so that way you guys can buy stuff. So like there's a lot of different like weird stuff. Nah. It's very quiet happening in the background. We basically just stop voting during exec board meetings. We still go, but like we.
Tell you that in the basement.
And then you get knighted, man.
Yeah, then you get knighted.
Right.
Yeah, whoever gets elected to head of lab, we're going to fist bump out of the election meeting.
There we go. No, it's pretty unceremonious, but I don't want to. That's a lot of work.
What if you run and succeed?
You can make it as ceremonious.
I don't care.
Like get tiki torches
I
and
love it.
No.
March to CCM and run out a whole
That thing would be empty. But any other questions? I can help answer. I do have one more slide. I have the most important slide. All right. If you are interested, I'll also send out a link. But make sure you fill this out so that way I actually know who's running for what. We will be checking attendance against this, and then I can't really check your GPAs. I'm not gonna ask for proof, but like if you have below a 2.3, like probably should be focusing on school anyway. So I don't know a better way to say that, but yeah. So I'll check attendance and I'll check all that kind of stuff. But assuming all of you don't lie to me, you will be on the ballot. And then I'll also send out more details of like what that meeting is going to look like as we get closer. Expect to make like a slide and then be able to talk to it.
Sure. We cannot apply. Well, at least I cannot because I'm first.
Correct. You can. So anybody that has under a year of experience as a board member in CyberUC cannot run for president.
Or vice president?
Correct.
Okay.
That's very intentional. It is president and VP have very tough jobs that require you to actually like have knowledge both of how we've operated previously and also have the relationships with people on the university side, have relationships with other clubs, all that sort of stuff. So that kind of year gap lets you, get those relationships and to be more successful.
And frankly, every past president and vice president has done that outside of technically the founder, but
Yeah. So outside of our first year, that's been universally true. So, any other questions that I can answer? Sweet. Enjoy, Chad.
cool. Well, I don't really have too many fixed down slides. I was more going to go over if anyone had questions about MakeUC, any of the challenges, any difficulties they may have had, or challenges they may want clarified. Yes.
No, I have like there's one problem like in WASM, my WASM. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's kind of difficult. I felt like, and I don't know,
Certainly.
I feel like there's a little bit of maybe some unfairness going on in the background. They could like go over details.
I mean, like,
Yeah, we saw the flags.
Yeah, a lot of weird ChatGPT flags seem to have been showing up there. Yeah, no.
That was big for us. CTF needs still up.
Oh yeah?
Oh, yeah. It's
Oh yeah. Let's go. Yeah. Let's actually look at I'm not actually.
Chad, is that the best idea?
Hmm?
Looking at past.
Oh, I'm not looking at yours. I know what you submitted.
We're not gonna make fun of me, are we? Wait a second. I shouldn't have brought it up. No.
You really shouldn't have.
No, it's not in there. Remember I sent it to you?
Yeah, it's
I
not
know.
in there.
You put it in there.
I like that.
Oh, and wait, that's
Oh,
on there.
whatever. Well, anyway, I can just go through it. It
Well,
works.
how about this? I'll pull it up.
But anyway,
Pull it up.
yeah. So my WASM, quite a fun one. If you worked at it, the input number was this number up here. So there you go. You now know what it is. That's the input number. The output number was supposed to be that. So yeah. Basically, for those who are very confused, how it works is you got WASM and you had to figure out what it was. Lots of math, lots and lots of math. It's a great amount of math. Now, the hard way to do this would be to go through and manually calculate it. In fact, on most calculators, you're going to have a very tough time because there are a handful of 32-bit integer overflows. So yeah, best of luck. The easy way to do it is to basically take the entire bottom half, copy all the way up to this not equal sign up here, copy it, paste it in a new place, make a new WASM file with that, and then just run that. Because if you'll notice with the not equals, if you run down the not equals path, so if you don't have this number at this point, you go to a point where it returns 0. So that's not the correct path. But the other path continues to do some more math and then returns the result. So you do that, and I made one here called win. That's it. If you put that into WASM and run that, it actually just wins. So yes, I will show that. I'm sorry, are there comments?
Any comments from the peanut gallery?
Are there comments?
There's comments?
People who want their flag submissions to be
Here, I'll pull them up right now. They're right in front of me.
ooh. Those are some rough flags.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah?
Here we go. Give me one sec.
Huh.
Let me get
Wait,
down to
no. Scroll that. What are
What
those
is
ones?
that?
What on earth?
Hold
What
on.
is-
Let's show
let's
this one.
let's switch over to these flags. Wow. Yeah, no. Let's
Huh. Wait for it. Wow, here we go.
what is that?
Huh.
Oh, look at the one below that. Or look that. Wait a second. That looks like some output from ChatGPT.
Yeah, that does too.
Huh,
yeah,
that
that's
really
weird.
does.
Yeah, that one too.
Whoa.
You know what? I was like taking a break for a second.
Uh-huh.
I'm a teapot.
Oh yeah, those ones.
Go down.
Thank you, a certain someone.
Always was.
I'm a teapot.
There
Yeah.
we go. Yeah.
Well, anyway.
Anyway,
That
public
aside.
shaming completed.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you do flash. Oop. Actually, go right over to here. So if you come to here, for my thing, I decided to add a little help script in here called WinMe. All this does is, this is a way to get around. The other way to solve this is you download something that can compile and run WASM on your machine, which you can do, but all browsers include that. All you have to do is know how. So yeah, if you look into how you do WebAssembly, it's kind of just, you need a web server and then you run it. But so I can come in here and run WinMe. Oh, come on. Of course it.
This is not meant to work.
It was working, but
It's just didn't work.
Wow.
No one's on.
No, no one's on.
let's see. Let's just throw it into static. This should work. There we go. You get a number. When you get this number, if you copy that number, you go over here, and when you actually inspect, if you debug the index, you'll find that the response uses, right here uses some URL query. I don't remember. Win.wasm? You won't remember that. I made that as a different thing. It would just give you the win. But because this is slightly modified. Actually, wait, why is that calling for stuff's going on. Whatever. I messed with things a little too much, it sounds like.
Apparently we. Apparently it was
Okay.
On Monday,
Okay, but if you go to the normal version, you can type whatever you want. You'll get it wrong. If you inspect it, go over to the network, you can run that again. You'll get it wrong, and you'll see what the actual check is doing. So you can edit that and edit the URL parameters with the correct value and send that. And it's actually pretty simple because if you do it the right way, you'll get, as a bit of fun for people, I decided to put in a fun little time where if you put this in, no, not that one, this one. You don't actually get the correct answer from this. You have to, as you can see at the bottom, it's a little fun challenge, but it's in the response for that. So in the response, you can see it, but it doesn't actually take the response. It just tells you that it totally sent it to you. Huh? No, that's a pro clicker. So yeah, there's that one. Any other fun ones people were interested in? Yes. Big ol' rot. Yeah, that was a fun one. Unfortunately, with crypto ones, it can be a little hard to tell when you go out and start doing it how hard exactly it's going to be. This one was a little harder than I intended it to be. Basically, how this one was made was by using CyberChef. So CyberChef has an Enigma machine, which you can use. There were plugboard values, which you'll notice if you did the competition. Huh?
Oh, I said that they had it on CyberChef.
But the normal bomb won't work with plugboard values, so, and sometimes crashes CyberChef. But I gave you the plugboard values later on. If you take that and you do a little bit of looking around, you'll find a wonderful brute force Enigma code, which you can plug in the ciphertext as well as the plugboard. And when you run that, and the solver is actually right here. It's by the Lambda way, and it's brute force Enigma. So you can do that. Or if you want to do some old school stuff, you can look up a manual for one of the simulated bombs and do it that way. That's the hard way because that's working with really weird machines. But if you go into brute force Enigma, and the big thing that you'd have to do with this one is it actually hard codes what the ciphertext and plugboard is. So that was eventually why I put the plugboard out, because that is the component of the Enigma that creates the most uncertainty. So you do that, you compile everything, and you just run it. And it breaks it and gives you the flags. So yeah, it's a little hard to get to this point, especially before I gave you the plugboard. There was a different solution that you would have to do to get that, which looks like most of the tools don't actually have. So put this in, and you basically just have to put the curly braces in. Huh?
Imagine they had some World War II.
Why didn't?
No, imagine they did.
Oh, well, they'd probably have different ciphers back if they had this. Yeah. They just have 3G signals sending out AES encrypted stuff. So, any other questions or interest in any other of the other challenges?
I want to see Stringify.
Stringify. Stringify, this was my first year really going into obfuscation of strings. So yes, it's also a Go challenge. So my apologies. But if you go into Ghidra
Oh, is it designed to mess with Ghidra?
Go just naturally messes with Ghidra.
Right, but is this like make it worse? If it even can get worse.
It does make it worse because Go has.
PAX a lot.
So the problem with Go is that Go has its own ADI that does not follow the general standard that most ELF files follow. So yeah, I did make this nicer for you guys because I did not go through and strip the file, because if I did that, there's roughly 100 or so functions in here, and all of them would have not had names and only been addresses. So you're welcome. But if you look at the decompilation, it doesn't really help too much. So, well, it does help a little bit, but you know, that's what it looks like in.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh no.
Let's see. But the nice thing is that you'll notice is that Go has a handful of optimizations. So when it comes to if statements, you actually get a plain text version of it, which was not intended. But you can see the A, K, E, U, C, curly brace, G, O, underscore, so on. So you can't really call me that mean because everything was there.
Yeah.
So you're saying all you had to do is solve was opening the group?
Yes.
Oh, and then you can look, yeah, go through each of those and copy the.
Hey, this is also my first round into it. Don't be surprised. Next round, it's going to be a little bit more difficult because I've built tooling now, and I've built my first step of tooling, which was in password collector, and the next step of tooling is going to be much, much better. So,
By better, do you mean more painful?
the list of them.
There's one I'm thinking.
Right.
Password collector? Yes. So this was the one that I made tooling for. Basically, it's just a Python file that scrambles a flag and throws it into a header. So pretty much the solution, you can also go into Vidra and look through it. Do you? I guess you can, but you can also look through the entry, and I think it's, yeah, packing it definitely will probably help you, but you can also just, I think you can just go through it. I don't remember. I actually probably should just unpack it. That'll make it easier.
Because that's the one thing you notice, you run strings and it tells you how to act using these.
Yep. Yeah, so as mentioned, if you run strings on it, it'll tell you in info that it was packed with the UPX packer. So if you use UPX help, can't remember the command off the top of my head. I think it's just -D. Yeah, UPX -D password collector. Because if you don't do that, as you saw with the Ghidra, it kind of looks messy. But when you unpack it, if you re-import you're not going to get the names, but you get a better entry because entry is sort of necessary and starts with libc, start main. So you can get to main, and when you get to here, you get the result of scrambling up a giant password. Pretty much the solution is going through, and I know there's a way to do it with Anger. I didn't get that way working, but you can also fuzz it. There's a couple of different routes to try to go and do it. And the other way is to manually go through and figure out where this will be, each character will be inside of the buffer that's up here. I think. Cool. Let's see here. No. But yeah, basically the buffer is going to start, I think, down at 3A. No, the buffer is going to end at 3A. So you can see down here where different parts of it are. But yeah, it's pretty much doing some manual effort to get all of those back together. And you can do that, or you can go through Path of Anger. I think you can do it through GDB as well. But yeah. Any other questions? Yeah, I can't fully go through rotating crypto jail, but it uses a rotating Caesar cipher over it. So every character basically rotates through. So instead of being route 13, it then becomes route 14, 15, 16, so on. And yeah, the solution is figuring that out. So yeah, I think that's all we have time for. So thanks for coming.
Yeah, I'll add one more thing. Remember to sign up for elections. If you want to run, please do that in the next week or so. Please do that in the next